This is the Writer Poetry Challenge follow-up. The goal for this assignment fell into one of these three standards. Can you understand what the poem is saying? Can you interpret figurative language? Two of the questions are about looking for something the poem is using in common. And we are going to be practicing writing analytically after this poem is over. I'm not going to play back the poem to you because I have it in here and I have the evidence for it. And I want to give you a summary. So if we were to summarize this poem in 1 to 2 sentences, we would say, a father notices his daughter is having trouble writing and wishes her luck, then has a flashback about a bird that got trapped into a room that beat itself up, finally made it out, and then at the end of the poem, the father wishes luck to his daughter, but harder as a result of this flashback. So the writer, here's some questions and some evidence. First, who's the speaker in the poem? It is a parent. The line that should indicate this is my daughter is writing a story, that it's not a third-person narration. My daughter shows possession, which would indicate that there's a parent. Gender can't necessarily be assumed in that question. Where is the father in the poem? I don't know where people are getting that he's dead. This is probably why I was yelling in my other video. But there is nothing about ghosts or specter. There's no wording to suggest, no words of like regret or death or loss, except it was always a matter of life and death, but it's the dad who says that line as well. So I think it's a vocab problem. If you don't know what a stairwell is, well, you know what stairs are, even if you just said he was in the stairs. And that would get you the correct answer. From her shut door. So you know 2 things here. One, he's not in the room if he's in the stairs. But even if this was your only detail, he is telling this perspective from her shut door. He's like standing in front of her shut door, then he's not in the room with her as well. So that would eliminate 2 of your possible choices. 3, a challenge question. All 3 of those are kind of correct in their own way. Which one is the best representation? The pattern the poem follows in its organizational structure is this. Dad tells about daughter and what daughter's doing, and it continues. Dad, daughter, dad, daughter. Then it focuses on what the daughter does for 2 stanzas before taking its flashback, where the daughter and the father are both together in this memory. We remember when the bird, we came in, we stole in, we lifted a sash. This bird was trapped in the same room. And then it ends with the father's perspective in the last stanza as well. You got to make sure you're at least picking A and C because the father and the daughter are both represented in the poem. So B is true, but what about the dad's perspective and the role he plays as well? The dad doesn't give anything specific to the daughter like, hey, honey, don't forget to add to your 3rd paragraph a transition word to help it flow. He does say that something's important, but he doesn't help her. He doesn't tell her. He doesn't give her that advice. He's only wishing her luck. Number 4 is a crap question. I wrote it wrong. It has to say the beginning of the poem, not the first stanza. So if you struggle with that one, you're like, oh, what to pick? There's no evidence in the first stanza. There's only evidence in the first 3. You guys brought that up to me, but it was kind of too late to go on, so everyone got that one. There really is no correct answer, at least out of those choices, if it's just the first stanza. The poem switches topic in which line? Line 16 is the big switch between the narrator talking about his daughter to talking about the bird. Guys, the girl's young. The poem says, young as she is. So that's her description. If you picked iridescent, that word describes the bird. You have 2 choices then, spirited and frightened. But all you have, if you pick spirited, this is just for you, even if the bird represents the daughter, right? The bird can fly, the daughter's the bird. The daughter herself has not achieved victory in the poem yet. She's giving up. The bird is simply a reminder maybe to continue to tell her to keep going, that she can succeed. But she's not spirited, she's quitting and needs advice from the dad to keep going. Only until she turns in that paper, whatever she's working on, is she valiant. My favorite question, who got it? I know Seth got it, I can't remember. You don't have to brag. You're going to brag on yourself. Granted, you had 25% odds for this light question as well. This is like an AP level question where you have to read very, very subtly into something. So I care about this question. Here's where the evidence is, you little butt. There you go. First, you have to understand right here by this magnifying glass what a sash is. Your vocab cheat sheet says it's a curtain. If this is a room with a window and the window's important, they are lifting the curtains up. That would mean that light would come in. But let's say that you miss the sash and that all you're working with is this line, batter against the brilliance. You got to be careful with word choice. If you have a word that's hard, like a violent word, like battery is a crime, pain, why would you pick hope and peace at the line? And this part of this is about a bird suffering, not having hope or peace. I know why you picked hope, but you're interpreting the line batter against the brilliance. Hope comes later when the bird makes it out, not in that line. So hope and peace won't work. And if you pick smarts, the bird is struggling. The bird is like crashing into things. The bird is not making the right choice. The bird is dumb. Okay? The bird is getting lucky when it finally gets out of there to not be dead. Like how many of you had a bird or a bat trapped in your house? Okay, most of the time it just ended up dead, I think as well, rather than making it out alive. So this brilliance here wouldn't be something battering against its own intelligence, battering against its smarts. Brilliance means that you're intelligent, not just intelligence in general. That leaves only the light of that right window. The daughter is represented by the bird. The bird struggles, the daughter's struggling. But even if you just pick, because this is a kind of air question, what is the poem focused on mostly? The daughter. What's the bird represent? Well, the poem's mostly about the daughter. So, kind of shoot that as well. If you pick life, guys, that would be the room. The room would represent life. And if it's what the daughter is writing, if the bird had like a feather or a leaf, trying to get something out of that room with it. So, not completely wrong, it's just more specific. The father says he realizes he didn't understand what his daughter is going through. We as teachers don't realize the struggles that our students go through in their real lives. I make fun of my students like, oh, she's crying, her boyfriend broke up with them. And then as I got older and became a parent, I was like, dang, that was cold. Like, you don't think that's important to kids when that happens? You don't think that those struggles are just as real as they were for you? So I put the sticker here after this poem. It says, I wish you a lucky passage, which is like to remind me, we all are trying to get through somewhere, get to somewhere. Here's how we know he didn't realize what she was going through in the text. It's a little dizzy. The second line for reject. It's life or death. It's important. Here's all the ship words for the next question. If you didn't look at that vocab cheat sheet, you're out of luck. Prow's the front of a ship. Breaks might have to do with waves breaking or breakers. Tossed is like the image of a ship being tossed in the wave. Cheat sheet is the side. Is on. Two best scoring questions were 11 and 12. Good to end on a strong note. Bird gets out the window without dying, making it through difficulties. It'd be making the correct choices if the bird had it easy. People who put erasing the past, like only if the bird burned the house down would that represent everything being destroyed. And this last line, I wish you're a lucky passage. If you wish something for someone, like I wish you weren't tired. I wish you had a better attitude. But none of those things, my wishing doesn't necessarily help. Plus, we don't see him interact with her or tell her anything other than what's going on in his own mind. So it's got to be more focused on the stuff of her life is heavy.